Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a thrift flip video where I take items I have recently thrifted and upcycle them for either resale or for myself. Now beyond that, I have no clue what I'm gonna do in today's video. I figured I would just go shop my own stash, pick out a few items, and just see what I could come up with. So this should be fun. Let's get started on today's video and see what happens. I'm gonna bring y'all digging through my thrift flip closet. So this is everything that I have that I currently need to work on. Now I gotta pick out some easy projects because I only have one day to film and edit this video. Okay, y'all let me know about this. I'm holding on to it, but I already did a thrift flip video on a basket like this. So should I do something to this or should I just sell it as is? You think somebody would like it like this? I don't know. That's not what we're talking about today, but y'all leave a comment and let me know. I love these brushes. Okay, I might do something with that. Oh, the sign. I could make a little sign. It's been a while since I've done that. I love the rusty part. Okay, that's in the maybe pile. Oh, I bought these for my master bath. And I've actually been working on painting my master bath. So let me do these so I can get that done. The little thing must have fell off. Let me find it. Here it is. So I have to glue that back on. Oh, I have an idea for these. I have two of these wooden candlesticks. And I feel like that's something that you see all the time at the thrift store. So I'm going to do something with that. So that gives us 4 projects. Let me pick out one more thing just in case I have time to do 4. How about this? I love the handmade look of this piece, but not the color. So let's change this up so I can put it in my house. I see these wooden candle holders that hang on the wall all the time at the thrift store. I don't really decorate with this kind of stuff at my house, so I'm going to see if I can turn it into something totally different. The first thing that I want to do is bring it to my miter saw and just cut the bottom off. That way it'll sit nice and flat. I do actually like the wood color on this. However, there's some stickers on it and a little bit of glitter. So what I'm going to do is just sand it down and kind of give it a wooden distress look. So just like you paint something with chalk paint and then you distress it to bring a different color back, you can also do that with wood and it gives it a nice aged look. So I'm just going to take this, I'm going to sand it down, I'm going to hit the edges really good, and it'll give it a beautiful aged look that I personally love in my home. I purchased this faux succulent from the dollar store and it very easily comes out of its pot. Now I'm going to take just a tiny piece of foam and I'm going to stick it in the candlestick. Now you could also glue your floral in there, but I didn't want it to be permanent. I want to be able to change it out if I decide to add something later on. So I'm just going to cut it down because the candlesticks are very shallow, and I'm going to stick the faux succulent into my foam, and it is easy as that. How cute and how simple is this project? I purchased these 2 hooks from a garage sale for I think 50 cents, and I really liked the metal that it was made out of and the little porcelain knob at the top, and I figured the square top I could definitely change into something that was more my style. So I want to go ahead and try to take off the label. Now normally I have no issues taking labels off. I purchased this heat gun from Amazon and I'll have a link in the description. It is so great for crafting. So normally I just heat gun it and the label comes right off. Not this label. It was not having it, so I just had to go ahead and leave it on. I want a solid background to work with, so since I can't take off the label, I'm just going to go ahead and paint the whole thing with 1 coat of black. And once my black dries, I'm going to go over it with antiquing wax. This gives the black a nice rich color and makes it look a little bit more like wrought iron, and that is the look that I'm going for. So you simply just brush on the antiquing wax and then you take a paper towel and you wipe or dab it off. I usually do a combination of wiping and dabbing, and it gives it, like I said, this beautiful rich color. I highly recommend adding antiquing wax to your black pieces. I want to put a mold where the label was. However, there are no molds that are the exact square that I need, but this label on the olive crest mold is the closest, so that's the one I'm going to be using for this. Whenever you're using a mold, you just want to lightly dust it with some cornstarch. That way your air dry clay does not stick to the mold. So I've placed my IOD air dry clay in the mold, and what I did, guys, was I made the middle of the mold very thick. I added extra clay in the middle. It's kind of hard to see. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to stretch it. That way I can make it the size that I want it to be. I want it to be a little bit more of a square instead of a rectangle. And the clay would start to kind of rip and tear if I would have not put that extra clay in the middle. So you could absolutely mold these to the shape that you want. Just make sure, you know, you add a little bit of extra clay in order to do this. Now I'm going to take my clay label and a little bit of Gorilla Glue to attach it to my towel hanger. And while I have my Gorilla Glue out, I'm just going to go ahead and glue on that little knob as well. All right, the final step to this is to add a letter to the little clay labels that we created. I'm going to be using IOD's letterpress stamp. This one has 3 different fonts. I love the one in the middle. It reminds me of the typesetting stamp. So I'm going to do an M and a J for Max and Julie. So I have my little M on my thin mount, and I'm going to ink it up with black ink. Now, I have not let my clay dry completely. So what I'm about to do is both make an impression in the clay and stamp the clay. And I absolutely loved the way that this came out. It is such a vintage look. It's something I have never done before, but I will 100% be doing this again. I thought it just came out absolutely amazing. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this technique. I purchased this sign because I really loved the rusty wire and the rust at the top, but I definitely did not like the bright green. So I'm going to take some black chalk paint and just cover up that green just so it doesn't come back through. And then once my black paint has dried, I'm going to go over it with a coat of white. I'm using Dixie Belle paint in the color Fluff. I'm going to apply 2 coats of the white Dixie Belle paint, and of course I'll have a link in the description below of all the products that I use in today's video. But I'm going to put on 2 coats of the white, and then I'm going to take it outside and just put some spray sealer on it real quick. I like Rust-Oleum clear coat in a matte finish, and that'll prep it for the next step of the sign. I want to add a transfer. This is the Brocante transfer book. There are 8 pages in here. I have used so much of this transfer, but there is so much left. This one actually comes with 2 pages of these birds, and I have not used a single one yet. So today I'm going to be using 1 set of the birds, and I'm going to apply it to the cute rusty little sign. I've pulled off the white backer, and now I'm just lining up the transfer where I want it to go on my sign. You want to make sure it's in the right place before you push it down, because it may start to transfer as soon as it's on your surface. And all your transfers come with a transfer tool. So after this, all you need to do is push on your transfer with the tool, and it'll come off onto your piece. Very easy, very simple. This next part is total personal preference, but I want to lightly sand this transfer. The top of this piece is rusted, so I feel like I want to also give my transfer a very rustic look. There is lots of texture on this piece of tin, so by lightly sanding it, I'm going to bring all of that texture through my transfer, and I think it looks absolutely amazing. Now it looks like an old piece, and it looks like these birds have always been on here. I love how these birds came out so much. I definitely need to find something to use the other set on. You may think this is a little odd, but I love these shoe shine brushes. I think they have such a pretty vintage look. So this one, I want to go ahead and embellish the top of it. Once again, I am going to be using the IOD Olive Crest Mode and the IOD Air Dry Clay. So I'm going to be using the two pieces on the end. So I'm going to put my air dry clay in there, and then I'm going to rub off all of the excess. And then I'm going to take my clay out of the molds. Now these are very, very bendable. So I'm just going to play with them and figure out what arrangement I want them to be in on the shoe shine brush. Now, you can see these are very, very bendable. So what I like to do with these is let them dry and stiffen up a little bit before I go back and glue them. That way I know they're going to hold their shape. So like I said, once they have stiffened up a little bit, I'm going to go back with my Gorilla Glue and just glue them down to the surface. I am loving how the clay molds look, but I felt like it needed a little transfer, a little typography on the side. So luckily the brocante transfer is full of typography. I decided on this one because it sounds like a good Cajun name, Mason Clément. So I'm just going to go ahead and quickly add this to the side, and I feel like it just gave it that extra special touch it really needed. Now it would have been better to do this before I put on the molds, but you know, sometimes you're working on a project and it just evolves as you work on it and you just go with it. So I decided to do the transfer as an afterthought, and I love the way that it came out. And I was thinking you could just do a transfer on the top as well, and that would be very pretty. Here is one more idea on what to do with these shoe shine brushes. You just turn them upside down and you stick a picture in them, and look how cute and vintage this looks. I thrifted this piece of pottery and the colors are absolutely not my style, but it definitely looks handmade and organic, and that is 100% my style. I want to do a base layer of this gray paint. I'm using Fusion Mineral Paint in the color Little Lamb. In the end, I feel like this wasn't necessary because you didn't really see it. That original color kind of came through, but I wasn't sure how that original color would look, so I decided to do this. Anyway, let's talk about this Klingon brush right now. My friend Jackie at Ruth and Ruby sent it to me. Y'all, I have not been picky about my brushes. I just kind of use whatever, but honestly, I have never invested in a good brush. So now I will be. I'm going to be buying all the sizes in the Klingon because the paint went on so smooth, and I was able to paint so much faster. So yes, these brushes will be a little bit more expensive, but I feel like the time I'm saving by using them is absolutely worth it. So if you have been thinking about trying this brush, I'm hooked now. I absolutely love these brushes, and of course I'll have a link in the description below for y'all. Once the gray paint has dried, I'm going to go over it with the Dixie Belle paint in the color Fluff. It's a beautiful white color. I'm going to do 2 coats of this and let it dry, and then we are going to distress it a little bit. And like I said, I ended up not seeing too much of the gray like I originally thought. What ended up coming back was the original color of the pottery, but it actually paired beautifully with the white color, so I'm not even upset with how it came out. I absolutely love the way that this bow ended up looking. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Do you like the organic handmade look of it? All right, guys, I really hope that y'all enjoyed today's video. I still have no clue what I have done since I am filming this before I actually do the projects. So y'all leave a comment below and let me know what was your favorite, and I will also pin a comment and let y'all know what was my favorite, because by this point I should have done the project since you're seeing me and the video's up. All right, guys, once again, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope y'all are inspired. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I will see y'all in the next video.